Good morning, everybody. What's happening? What's happening? This is Mark Fuller. This is the Free World Order, which is my online platform on Facebook and on YouTube. I make videos on a daily basis, provoking people's thoughts, stirring up the pot, just getting people thinking a little bit. People don't think at all a lot of times, so I try to inspire people to use their brain a little bit. It'll have you asking some questions that are pertinent, in my opinion, for the survival of humanity on this planet. Before I even get into my topic, I would like to thank everyone for subscribing to the YouTube channel, for liking our Facebook page, and for joining us with a $1 monthly contribution. If you're unfamiliar with what that is being used for, my goal is to raise $1 billion in order to build the first resource-based economy in the form of a city on our planet. The Venus Project, and you can visit thevenusproject.com, is the body of work of Jacques Fresco, who passed away earlier this year, which shows in intricate detail what we could potentially do as far as utilizing and integrating a resource-based economy into our society and redesigning our society in the process. The premise for the resource-based economy is very simple: providing abundance for all people on Earth. I repeat that: providing an abundant standard of living for all people on our planet. Now, if that's something that you disagree with, or you think it's something that's never going to be possible because of the way that society is, and you got different cultures, there's all of these different types of people, different skin color, different language, different ways of doing things, you don't think that that's ever going to happen, shame on you. Human beings are all the same. It doesn't matter where you go, what country you go to, what language they speak, what color they are. When you sit back and you examine the way that people live and the way that we are as human beings, you'll find that we all are the same, literally all the same. The differences are things that I've been mentioning since I've been making this video, as far as skin color, language, culture, the way that you're raised, or, the environment that people are living in. Those are the differences, but there's no difference between human beings. Because if you put people, I don't care what language they speak, what culture they're from, you take a baby from one culture and raise it up in another culture, they're going to adapt to whatever the culture is that they're being raised up in. If you take a Chinese baby and you raise them up in France, that Chinese baby will be speaking French. So we're not born speaking a language. We're not born with a certain culture built into us. We are reacting to the environment that we are being raised in. And that ultimately leads to exactly what my point is, which is that if we provide for all people on our planet, all of the things that we see that are negative, you will soon find will disappear. So this is what my desire is, and is what my goal is, and it's the reason I created the Free World Order platform. One, to raise money to build the first resource-based city, because that city is going to be the proof that the resource-based economy is better than what we have now. And two, to open up the dialogue so that people start talking more and more about what we have in common as human beings versus the pain that we are feeling as human beings because of things that are perpetuated in the media and in the news and in the mainstream. You always hear about bullshit that goes on. You don't really hear about a lot of positive things that go on as far as advances in technology and advances in science that can improve our lives, all of our lives. Let me jump into my subject. There's a lot of controversy going on around the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, with the kneeling down and during the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever the case may be. What if we pledged allegiance to the earth and everyone on it? What if human beings pledged allegiance to the earth and everyone on it. This is a concept that probably will fly over most people's heads because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier in the video. Things are perpetuated. Things are put out to keep people divisive. Racism, bigotry. These things are intentionally put out into the mainstream to keep people divided because they understand, and when I say they, I'm referring to the tiny group of people, relatively speaking, that create currency and the banking world, that control it, that have bought out the entire media. So all of the mainstream media that you see, there's so much propaganda that's put out on purpose to keep people dumbed down and not thinking for themselves. But if you think about it, with the exception of those few people, most people have the inclination to want to just live in peace and to want to have their families taken care of and themselves taken care of. They're not thinking about really doing negative things. They're not thinking about doing excessive things. These are images that are programmed, so to speak, into your brain over time and over the media. It's like all you really hear about and are focused on is whatever is being focused on at the time, but it's part of an agenda at the time. So you'll notice certain things in the media. When you turn to every news station, it'll be the same thing on every news channel. Why is that? Why are they always talking about the same things at the same time? It's because it's planned. This is a plan that is in place. That it's very effective because it works on the majority of people. Most people are not listening to people like me. Most people don't give a shit about people like me and what I'm talking about. And that's okay. Because the reference is still going to be made. When things happen, my videos are going to be out here for you guys to watch, to listen to, and to think about things and take into consideration what it is that I'm saying. Just like the question that I'm asking in this video, what if we as human beings pledged allegiance to the earth and everyone on it? There's so much separation between culture. There's so much separation between language and geography. The reason that you even have countries is because human beings divided and separated themselves from one another based on some type of difference that they had, whether it was how they looked or their skin color or the way that they did something. This is what has created separation, which ultimately created all the countries that you see. It created all of the power structures that you see within countries, as far as within government and politics. These things don't have to be, but they are as a result of division. And that's like the golden rule for people that want to and plan to have power is divide and conquer. The easiest way to put people in line is to split them up, divide them. And by being divisive, people don't even realize that they are falling right into the plan of the very people who represent their quote unquote enemy. So they're thinking that their enemy is the person or the people that are different than them, when in essence your enemy is a very small group of people that have figured out how to extract all of the wealth and all of the value, the resources on the planet, to extract that and to maintain control of it and keep you in the state that you're in as part of a mass. It's like sheep. There's a reference for it called sheeple. So by keeping people away from knowledge and away from thinking on their own, people fall right in line with whatever the system is that is in place. So here we are. living in a system where we're being controlled and manipulated by something called money. And this is on every level. You see it everywhere. It's not only in the general population, it's in politics, it's in religion, and of course it's in business. But most importantly, it is amongst the masses of people that cooperate with it. So we're keeping it all going by cooperating with the existing system that is in place. Well, what are we supposed to do, Mark? You're supposed to think. What did I just say a moment ago about what if we all pledged allegiance to the earth and to everyone on it? You see, this changes the dynamic of our thinking. And our thinking is what will be the dominant thought process of more and more people once we just make a decision to think that way and to begin allowing our actions to reflect that thought process. So by me saying pledging allegiance to everyone on earth, what we're saying is that, you know what, we're going to stop all of this patriotism when it comes to my country's better than yours, my race is better than yours, my culture is better than yours. Stop that shit. Because your culture is just your culture. It's not better or worse than anyone else's culture. And in reality, the less offended that we are by each other, and the more that we compromise when it comes to living amongst one another, the easier it will become to transition into a better system than what we have now. And that system is the monetary system. Money controls you. And it's difficult for people to understand that there is an alternative to that, because you've never seen it. See, most people don't believe it until they see it. And this is exactly why my goal is to build the first resource-based city, because when people see it, that's when many people will begin to believe it. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. So I know that it's going to take many of you who just believe and have faith, the same way that you believe in something that have never seen it, the same way many of you believe in God that you've never seen. You've never seen God, but you believe that he exists. Whoever your God is, you never seen him. There's no proof from your vision that your entity or your deity exists, your God exists. There is no proof. You can say, oh, well, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be breathing and my heart wouldn't be beating. All of this is true to some degree, because you can't explain how your heart is beating. You can't explain how you're breathing on your own. And because you're unable to explain those things, well, it has to be God, whom I've never seen. Yet we see one another every day and have not figured out how to coexist and live peacefully with each other. And we see each other on a daily basis. In fact, we make it more difficult for each other based on differences. So this is, kind of what I'm getting at, and what I'm leaning towards is, in all actuality, realizing that we're all the same as human beings. That's the first step. And by pledging allegiance to the earth, what that means is that we all have the same home. You thinking that your home is your apartment or the house you live in. Your home is the planet. Where else are you going? All of the conditions that we need to live on this earth and to coexist with other animals and other species in our environment, all of that is here already. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. You're here. You were born here. Your children were born here. Your parents were born here. Their parents were born here. We're all here together on earth. Why not pledge allegiance to earth? Why not pledge allegiance to this planet? Stop destroying it. Stop polluting it. Instead of doing that, use the free energy the free resources that are available from the planet, because everything that you see that exists today came from Earth. Where else did it come from? You're thinking that just because somebody has money and power, that it's because of them that certain things exist? Oh, well, you know, the rich and powerful, they're the ones building those big skyscrapers and all of those buildings. No, it's actually machines. Actually, today, machines. And who is the creator and the developer and the designer of machines? Human beings. So it does not make sense to continue living in a paradigm where everything is contingent upon how much money you have to determine what you have access to. Because what that is doing is keeping everyone in a slave mentality. And at the same time, it's positioning your future generations to be fucked up. Because if we don't figure out how to transition away from this system will be the same one that destroys the way of life that you know right now. It will destroy your way of life because it's not designed to sustain your way of life. So you're thinking that it's all good. Do you grow your own food? Nope. What do? You go to the supermarket. So what is part of the supply chain that puts food in the supermarket for you to go buy? You see what I'm saying? It's a system that's in place. Now, the basis of the resource-based economy, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to end the video. The basis of a resource-based economy is to produce everything that we already have, but to produce it without a price tag and make it available to everyone free of charge. By you giving people free access to things that they need to live essentially on Earth, to live harmonious, by you doing this, you immediately will create the conditions necessary to allow people to change their behavior. People won't behave the same way when they are well fed, when they are clothed, when their children are provided for, when they don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to be concerned with having access to clean water. They don't have to be concerned with having access to a good education, whether they can afford the best education, whether they can afford the best health care. They don't have to worry about having less than on any level. They have the equivalent of what everyone else has access to, which is the best that's available at the time. We always will have what is the best available at the time through a resource-based economy, because there's no incentive for anyone to hold back new information, new science, new technology. There's no incentive for that. See, in this system, in this monetary system, there's an incentive for that. So people get patents, they get licenses, so that they can put their name on something and so that someone else can't steal that idea and then use it for something else, or use it to gain credit for their idea. Of course, you have to be protected in a society like this because it's monetary based. So it breeds corruption. I mean, I really hope that you people understand what it is that I'm saying in all these videos. Like, I'm making perfect sense and I'm on a basic level. I don't have to get all, into semantics and try to debate with people. People have requested that I go into a debate with other popular people. For what? I don't really have to debate about anything. My principles stand on their own. I believe that we should all pledge allegiance to our planet and to every human being on it. What else is there to talk about? What is there to debate about? Oh, well, Mark, no one's going to do that. You're the reason that people are not going to do it. So, all right, you won't do it for now. You've made that clear in that statement. By you saying that, you're making it clear that you're not going to be one of the people that commits to that. And that's fine. We don't need all of you now. We only need those that are able to see it now. And I know that there's millions of us out here able to see it now. So, if you believe in this direction, first and foremost, share these videos. Secondly, join us with a $1 monthly contribution. Just $1. painless. The reason that I do that is because people give to charities and churches all the time. And when you're doing that, you're giving to a cause, but you have to remember that whatever their program is or whatever their agenda is, that's what they're using that money for. And that's fine. I'm not saying or trying to, put any type of negativity into what charities and churches do with their money. But my point to you is that everyone is trying to sell you something. And I'm not trying to sell people on the idea of a resource-based economy. I'm simply presenting the alternative to what we have now, which is a resource-based economy. And what it is that we need in order to build the first city is money, because money is what we need to acquire the resources that we need in order to have the science and technology, the team, all the people that are necessary to bring it into fruition in the first city. So this is why Mark Fuller is raising money through the Free World Order. This is why I ask you all to commit your dollar, because millions of us doing that will allow it to happen overnight, damn near. So, well, Mark, you begging people for money. I'm not begging anybody for shit. As you can see, I live my life. This has nothing to do with my personal life. This is about us all collectively changing the landscape for the way that we live as human beings on this earth, because all of it is driven by money, by the lack of money or by the love of money, one or the other. So instead of using that system, here is the alternative. We use resources, we use science, we use technology, we apply the methods of science to create a society where no one is left behind and there is no price tag on it. Sounds a hell of a lot better than what we have now. And you guys will come to me. Y'all will start coming to me when you can't pay off them student loans, when you start seeing all of these prices going up for food. I know that you guys will reach out to me then, and that's fine. These videos are for those of you who are going to be proactive and begin to move in advance before the bullshit happens, beforehand. So that's what I do it for. And I do it. I'm committed to making videos. I'm committed to the message. The message is simple. Give everything to everyone for free. Let's pledge allegiance to the earth and everyone on it. That's the message. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure that you like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the videos. That is so important. We got to get this information out to more people so that people can make their choice. Share the videos. And join us with a $1 monthly contribution. Get us closer to building this first resource-based city so that we can prove to people that it works. That's all I got. Mark Fuller signing off. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Peace and love. God bless.